Oh, Dev. Oh, my goodness. Another Losers Lounge. Back-to-back Losers Lounge.
Not again.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Losers Lounge.
Oh, my goodness.
We are presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use code DNVR365. Sign up. Choose your offer. Find out whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Did we win any bets tonight?
We went 2 of 3 on our bets.
That's good. That's
But we deserve to go 3 for 3 every single night because Bet365 keeps on hooking us up. We need to be hooking our people up too.
What was the one we missed?
I got cute. I did DeAndre Jordan assist. Why not just do cute? Why not just do a thing that he does all the time? Grab every single rebound.
That's getting so cute with it.
Man, just tried to be cute. But 2 straight days. We're up, of course.
Yeah, 5 out of 6 over the last 2 days. Good work there. Of course, we're live from the Toyota Lounge, just the two of us today. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. Harrison wins, Superstar Dev. The Nuggets fall 113-106 to the Spurs on the second night of a back-to-back. Of course, the big news today in this one, no member of the starting 5 played. No Nikola Jokic, no Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, all out, along with Peyton Watson, too. That meant, it was Russell Westbrook, Jalen Pickett, DeAndre Jordan, Zeke Naji, Hunter Tyson. That was the starting 5 for Denver. And tough L in what was a really boring game for a lot of it. Let's get into it with a fast recap, and then we'll hit our Red Hawk Roofing big takeaways. This game, if you didn't watch this game, and you're maybe just tuning into the postgame show, which I know a lot of people do, you probably don't have to go back and rewatch any point of this game until maybe some plays in the fourth quarter, because this was like the lowest energy, least stakes, least important game. At least that's what it felt like for most of this first half. Denver had like no energy. It looked like typically when bench guys get in a game and like you have this huge opportunity, I feel like usually you see a lot of energy and guys diving around and really hustling, and I feel like we saw none of that to start. It was almost like Mike Malone yelled at everybody or something before the game in a bad way. There was just no energy to start, and San Antonio outscored the Nuggets 33-21 in that first quarter. Denver rebounded a little bit, and Russell Westbrook got going. Russ finished with 30 points in this game, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 turnovers, some costly misses down the stretch, though, which we'll talk about. And he got going in that second quarter. Denver, they tied San Antonio in that second quarter, 33-33. And then the Nuggets had a great third. Hunter Tyson started making some shots. He finished with 18 points in this one, hit 3 triples. Jalen Pickett really got going as well. Vlatko hit some shots in the second half off the bench. Some good minutes from DeAndre Jordan, too. In the fourth quarter, though, because this was a pretty close game in the fourth, it was really interesting, Dev. There were a couple very loud plays that Russell Westbrook did not make again. And if you were watching on the watch along, we talked about those plays a lot, and we will in this Losers Lounge too. Miss layup, turnover. It was just a bunch of errors down the stretch for him.
Probably one more missed layup that you missed.
Another missed layup probably. And Denver kind of blew this game late. It was right there for the taking. San Antonio actually took Chris Paul out of this game with like 5 minutes left, right? Did he even come back in? I don't know.
He came back in.
Oh, did he? Did he end up coming back in? They took him out for a portion, like late in this fourth quarter. He did come back in, but it's not like the Spurs were really trying to win this game. It was right there for the taking, and Denver just kind of choked. 113-106, they lose. It's hard to get too mad at this one just because nobody played, but it was a winnable game, and it just sucks coming off last night, the heartbreak of last night with just the malaise that was felt tonight. So, tough loss, 113-106. The Nuggets lose. They've dropped these last two days in a row. They've got the Warriors in a couple days. Let's go to our Red Hawk Roofing big takeaways. Superstar Dove.
My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway in this one. I have a lot to say, but my big takeaway is, man, that loss sucked. It truly sucked because this was a good game by Denver. Like, they fought back after being down 20. They're missing so many players that they were going to Dario Saric, who has not played. I don't even remember the last time I seen a Dario Saric. They had Russell Westbrook be their best player and main, player on the court. And I mean, like, just think about what type of contract that he's on. I think that this was a rough Russell Westbrook experience type of game, because you will take this game every single day of the week until that one moment happened. And then it was bad sequence after bad sequence. 30 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. That is an incredible Russell Westbrook game. You're going to take that from your backup point guard every single time. But then he played for too long, and that's been my big thing with Russell Westbrook is if he's in for too long, that's when you start to see the mistakes. That's when everything is magnified.
Is 40 minutes too long?
It's way too long. And he's never going to play that many minutes with Jamal Murray there. He's not playing that many minutes in the playoffs because we continue to talk about that. He is a player that you're supposed to play in pockets. And if you played him in pockets, if he would have stopped this game at 30 minutes, this would have been almost a perfect Russell Westbrook game. But they have to push him, and he is a player that mentally he's going to do everything that he can to push, to try to get him over that edge. And a lot of times it ends up costing them. So the Nuggets got burned because Russell Westbrook was, again, put in a spot where too much was asked of him, and it didn't go his way.
Yeah. I mean, it started with that missed layup when it would have been Jalen Pickett's 10th assist of the game. Russ had the wide open layup that he, he went up with, tried to put some English on or something. It was a really weird attempt. That missed. He had another missed layup. He had the turnover that he threw into the 10th row. It was just a bunch of really loud, unfortunate errors down the stretch. And it was interesting because it came in another game that Jalen Pickett played pretty well in. And that's actually my Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway. Jalen Pickett, obviously a triple-double in this game. 17 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists in 35 minutes. I thought Jalen Pickett was awesome in this game. Offensively, he ran the show. He set other guys up. He has a great ability to pass people open. And what I mean by that is, if I'm passing you the ball for a three and you're not open, Jalen Pickett he can read the court. He can read the defense in a way where he'll take one dribble to the exact right spot on the floor, force your defender to take one step off you, and then I'll hit you for the pass, and you're open because I made that one quick move. He does those little things that just get teammates open, that get teammates good shots. And, we've seen a lot of it lately, over the second half of this season. And that continued in this game. I was just really impressed with the poise Jalen Pickett played with and the poise he's shown, over the course of the second half of this season. It's been a lot of the same. And, I mean, I'm at the point right now where I'd be pretty happy if, next season comes around and he's the Nuggets backup point guard. That seems like a pretty nice, stable option at backup point guard. He kind of reminds you of Monte Morris in a way where he's not going to, score 20 points. He's not going to, have these unbelievable, game-changing plays that are on a SportsCenter top 10 highlight, but he's just going to make quality basketball plays possession after possession after possession. And he's stable, and he's not going to have peaks and valleys, and that's what you want at backup point guard. So I'm loving what Jalen Pickett's been doing lately, and tonight was just another example of the player he can be.
Jalen Pickett's redemption arc is one of the biggest things of the year because that like goes to show a player that was so down in the dump, so down on himself and low self morale, no confidence. It is truly turned to where he now has like the trust in his coach. He, plays in this game 35 minutes for a guy that has not been playing a ton, that has to stay ready whenever his time is called, and then he shows up to the call. 6 of 13 from the field. There was confidence shots. He was knocking down threes after threes. He's running the offense. He's getting a lot of ISO baskets, and that's not what he's, known for. Yeah. It's not what he's accustomed to. He had to adapt his game in this one to press a bit more because it was the Russell Westbrook and Jalen Pickett show. They were the offensive weapons, and they're not asked to be that every night. So you have to, like, up your level of play, and Jalen Pickett, he showed up there. 11 rebounds from your small point guard.
Yeah, 3 offensive rebounds too.
That's a guy that's like that wants it. That's a guy that's willing to put himself out there. 10 assists. We know that he's a great passer, and he typically takes care of the ball. This one, I feel like you press 35 minutes, you are going to have a couple of assists, but he was trying to put his guys in the right spot to score. And again, you really will take that from your third string point guard. A triple-double, his first of his career. And then when you look at the guys that have a triple-double this year, like he's the one guy that is just so off.
We were going through a list on the watch along. Who is the worst player in the NBA to have a triple-double this season? It was Jalen Williams. Now it might be Jalen Pickett.
It's got to be Jalen Pickett now.
Players like Jalen Pickett don't usually get triple-doubles. That's the thing.
They don't even get put in that
situation to maybe get one,
to be able to do that. But I mean, I really am impressed with like the poise of Jalen Pickett, because he could have just easily just given up or just been bounced around the league, or the team give up on him and he's not gonna stay ready. But he's been ready. He's putting in the work, and it's great to see like where he's at right now. So hat tip to Jalen Pickett. And this was the Jalen Pickett game. I wish it was a win. I really do.
Yeah. He started in the backcourt with Russ. And just to go back to Russ real quick, I mean, he was great for the first 3 quarters of the game, right? Like, he was pretty damn good the first 3 quarters of the game. I don't even know if he scored in the fourth, or maybe just a couple baskets, but he did pour in 30 points tonight. He was pretty good, for most of this game on the offensive end. He just had some of the, crippling late game mistakes in the fourth quarter that we've seen from him over these past couple of games. Jalen Pickett was the big standout for me. Russell Westbrook, another loud game for him for sure. And then, what's interesting is, like, if you had to pick another guy that really stood out to you tonight, would it be Vlatko Čančar? Or would it be a Spencer Jones? Or would it be a Hunter Tyson?
It would be a Hunter Tyson, but let's go with Vlatko.
Yeah.
That stretch that he had, I feel like he kept the Nuggets in this one. It was a very good defensive stretch where they were trying to put him in ISO situations where he was not allowing it to happen. But also he made it happen on offense. He was scoring. I really do like how aggressive and the ability that everybody had the green light in this game. Yeah. I do think that they played hard.
You did feel like that.
I feel like they played hard. Like, you don't, drop your head or think that they, didn't want it. I do think that guys wanted it, and putting Vlatko out there to play 25 minutes after he's not playing at all, it was great to see him. It was something that you root for. And it was great to see him knock down a couple of shots, to have some chemistry with his teammates, to show that he's a competent, rebounder, assist man that can play some minutes, because we all have loved Vlatko. He's been a part of this team for a while. He's not one of the core guys, but I really do think that he's good for the culture, but he showed he could still play basketball. So Vlatko is the one that I'll go to, because it just was a feel-good story for me.
Yeah, I agree with Vlatko, and it was interesting that it seemed like he was going to close this game and then didn't. And I thought that was a notable coaching move from Mike Malone. I want to talk about that a little more, but let's hit a quick break, and then we'll get to that on the other side. I got to talk about our friends at Empire today. They're the best at flooring out there. They're the best in the business. Just like your favorite team needs a home court advantage. Your home needs a home floor advantage. Empire Today can help you get that. Empire Today, they have flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. It's all they do. They focus on flooring. Probably been to some of those big box stores if you've done work on your floors before. You've dealt with like those big, huge companies. Empire Today will give you great customer service. They'll actually care about you as a person. They're not trying to get one over on you. They'll help you through the process step by step. Empire Today, they are the best bet for a new floor. They live and breathe flooring. They'll be with you every step of the way. It's a whole different ballgame with Empire Today. Also, they're flooring experts. They bring the showroom right to your home. You can get precise measurements taken and have all your questions answered, so there are no surprises. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can get a $350 discount when using the promo code DNVR. You heard that right. $350 discount with the code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday/DNVR for full details. And also, shout out to our friends at Bet365, the official partner of the Denver Nuggets and Colorado Avalanche. Bet365, it's never ordinary, and we love it at DNVR. It's the app we bet on. We bet on it every pregame show. Dev hands out his bets. And a really cool thing about Bet365 is they have an early payout offer. You're a winner if your team goes up by 20 points. An instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections. Those are marked as winners. Download the app. Use code DNVR365 when you sign up. Also from Bet365, you can get $150 in bonus bets if you're a new customer when you bet $5. Win or lose, sign up with the code DNVR365, deposit $10, place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. Physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets post-game lounge. We are presented by Bet365 and coming to you live from the very roomy Toyota lounge. Just me and Superstar Dev these last 2 days, man. Just us two. I think the rest of the fellas will be back later in the week. I think. I don't know, though.
Not to be so, like, I don't think that Eric would have been able to stomach these last 2 days.
He probably would have left.
I really am glad that we get to protect my best friend's heart, because it would have been rough. It would have been rough for him. He would have been very emotional. He would have probably cried. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that it was not him, and maybe they go on a winning streak now. They need it. They definitely need it.
They do. I want to get back to Vlatko because I feel like he really did make an impact in this game. He hit 2 big threes. What was it? One at the end of the third quarter that he hit at that buzzer, and then another one. Played well within the offense, had a couple assists, was moving the ball. And then Michael Malone took him out in the fourth after he had a really good stint. I thought he was going to close the game, and Malone went back to Hunter Tyson, who did score 18 points in this game, but also shot 7 of 20. That was an interesting decision, I thought. I probably would have rolled with Vlatko. Tonight was kind of maybe the first reminder of, oh, yeah, Vlatko can be a helpful player when he is healthy, when he is in shape, when he is playing. We haven't seen that, that much these last couple of years just because of the injuries, and it's been unfortunate. But I've always thought, if Vlatko is healthy and, up to speed with his body and everything, he can be helpful. He can be a winning player. You saw some of that in this game. But I don't know. It's probably just, too late in the season to really get that excited about that, though.
Yeah, I mean, the Nuggets need able bodies.
Yeah.
They also need some type of depth. And I feel like if you were to ask a Nuggets fan going into the season who was part of the rotation, Vlatko's name would be there. Like, people are positive about Vlatko. He shows, like, flashes of, having good chemistry with teammates, being able to score, being able to defend, and being a versatile defender. But it's the injuries that we've seen that has kind of derailed, his playing career in Denver and what he could be. So, like, when he has these type of games, it is reminders like, oh, he is a good player. He could be a part of this team. You can throw him out there for some minutes and it not be too much. And you talked about that him going to the bench and it being a questionable decision. There's a lot of questionable decisions, like a lot of questionable.
I know these
decisions.
have not been 2 great games from Michael Malone.
It has been rough on Michael Malone, and I really do think that it is a very difficult spot for Michael Malone to be in. Last night was a difficult spot, but for sure tonight was a difficult spot for Michael Malone. And there has been some questionable decisions. It's easy to say in hindsight, but also like you have to coach through it. You have to adapt. You have to make some changes. And we did not see a lot of changes in this one.
Yeah. I thought Spencer Jones had some good moments too in this game. Yeah, fire it up, Kale. Thank you. That didn't have to do with his 3-point shot because, my God, I cannot imagine a 3-pointer from Spencer Jones ever going in.
I don't think that has ever happened.
That thing is not going in.
Spencer Jones 3-pointers and Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point games.
Never happened.
People are just saying that.
Yeah.
What did you say he shot in the G League? It doesn't matter because it's not a real
He has
thing.
the weirdest looking shot I may have ever seen.
Sidewinder.
It starts from his feet. It jerks through his back body.
Yeah.
It's like when I take Rocky. That's what it
Right,
feels like.
you kind of lose control of your limbs a little bit.
He ain't never going to make a shot.
Yeah.
But he is going to play hard the entire time that he's out there. He is going to rebound. He's going to put himself in a situation where his body is an athletic. Like he's
a rookie and he's got an NBA body.
he looks like an NBA player.
Yeah.
He's strong like an NBA player. You could tell that he puts a lot of work in the offseason on working on his body. He's probably still working extremely hard while he goes into the G League and he's with the team that he's one of the guys that you know is in the gym and just ready to get better. And you'll take that from a two-way guy. You'll take that from a young guy that is learning. And I do think that he's a player that you could use, down the road. I think that he's a player that you could put on this team and he'd be a part of this team next year. So it was exciting to see him play 23 minutes. I wanted to see what he looks like with an extended role. We get to see what it is. He has some work to do, but you'll take that from the young guy.
Yeah, we were talking about this on the watch log. There's 3 two-way players on this team. 2 of them played tonight. PJ Hall's the one that didn't. Trey Alexander and Spencer Jones. And I mean, if you're thinking about, all right, do we want any of these guys on the team next year? To me, it's clearly Spencer Jones. He can defend. He's 6'7", and he's strong, too. I mean, you compare his body to a guy like Trey Alexander. Trey, he can be a good player maybe one day, but he's got to get so much stronger and put on so much weight. Spencer Jones already has an NBA body as a rookie, and he can defend. Like, he could... I'd feel comfortable, playing him 5 to 10 minutes here and there in the rotation. So I've liked what we've seen from Spencer Jones over the last, couple weeks, as long as he's been in the rotation. 2 of 8. That was mainly because he shot 0 of 4 from 3. Got on the glass, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks as well. It's a couple nice blocks from him and 4 points. So it's been a good experience with Spencer Jones. It's been surprising because just didn't play the whole season. That's kind of a theme with the Nuggets two-way guys, but he can play. And I'm curious to see, what else he's got in his bag.
Yeah, I wonder what he's going to work on this offseason.
His shot. He does have
crazy.
1 3 on the season, I believe.
How many misses? I bet it's a lot.
He had a 3 against New Orleans. Overall,
it probably just bounced like 10 times or go 10. Somebody probably wouldn't touch it
that's
off the
the
rim.
thing. I feel like he's got so much side spin on it. If it hits the rim, it's not going. It's not getting a good bounce.
This is when you get mad at coaching. There's not a coach in college, NBA, anywhere that's saying that is an okay shot. They got to break it. They just got to break it.
He's 1 of
completely.
13 overall.
Yeah, that's not good. I promise you that's not good.
Yeah.
I'm not a mathematician.
Hunter Tyson got a lot of run in this game. 18 points for him, 6 rebounds, 7 of 20. Got up 20 shots. The second most on the team, only 5 less than Russ. 3 of 9 from 3. Any takes on his game tonight?
Yeah, he saw an opportunity.
Yeah.
He saw a spot where he was like, I'm going to be aggressive. And there is times that I'm like, what does Hunter Tyson do? Because like a lot of times it's him being a madman. but he clearly views himself as a scorer, as a guy that can take tough shots and make tough shots. 20 field goal attempts is like, that's no easy task.
Yeah.
He was feeling it. He felt that he had some mismatches, and he tried to attack those mismatches. He knocked down 3 of 9 from the three-point line. So, like, the shot, when it's on, it feels on. But he's working hard. I like that he's a madman out there. He has 6 boards. A lot of those are like him going out of his way to go get a board, chasing down, spots to go get a board. I like that from a Hunter Tyson. I do, know that he has to continue to progress because I know that they wanted him to be a part of this rotation.
Yeah.
He's one of the young, Booth boys that they just want to see more out of. But you're going to get that with playing. You're going to get that with making the most of your opportunities. I know that Hunter Tyson has a long way to go, but it is good to see him be able to look like he belongs, like when he gets that opportunity.
Yeah. It feels like it's kind of been a wasted year for him, unfortunately. His rookie year, he's in the G League. You're not expecting that much from him. This year, I think the Nuggets, the front office definitely expected him to play more than he has. And now, you kind of go into a third year with him, and you're like, all right, so what do we got here? And you still don't really know. So you do love how Hunter's always going to play hard. He's always going to run around. He's always going to give you effort. It was good to see the shot go in because that's kind of been the part of his game that was advertised that hasn't really shown up consistently. He should be a guy that shoots it, but that shot just hasn't really gone in a ton. So it was good to see him knock a couple threes down. Finished with 18 points in this game. Coming up, we'll have Brendan Vogt live from the Ball Arena. He talked to Jalen Pickett. He talked to Michael Malone. I think he talked to one other player as well. Can we take our second break, Kale, and then we can go to Brendan Vogt on the other side?
It's a little early, but yeah, I might as well.
Let's go ahead and do that, and we'll hear what Vogt has to say from Ball Arena. Shout out to our friends over at Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's right now. They are introducing a limited edition Golden Cane plush puppy in celebration of their golden birthday. Yo, you got to get on this. This Golden Cane will only be available for a limited time, starting March 19th through April 29th while supplies last. Is this it?
This is it.
This is it. The Golden Cane. Go to Raising Cane's. Be sure to celebrate the golden year by picking up your Golden Cane plush puppy. Net proceeds will benefit local pet organizations in your area. Wow, limited edition. And we got one at the bar. Unbelievable. Raising Cane's, chicken fingers, one love. Man, I could go for some Raising Cane's right now. Only available for a limited time. March 19th through April 29th or while supplies last. Make sure to check that out from Raising Cane's. Also, shout out to our friends over at Red Hawk Roofing. Red Hawk Roofing. They're the best roofers in Denver. They're the best at what they do. If you have any roofing needs, home, business, whatever it might be, they are your guys. They have the best materials, decades of experience, quick response time, Colorado's best estimators and contractors, and they will give you exactly what you want when it comes to your roof. They'll walk you through the entire process, step by step. They're not going to do things behind your back. They're going to make sure you're involved in all the decision making, of course. So hit up Red Hawk Roofing if you have any roofing needs, home, business. They're huge DNVR supporters, so choose them for your roofing needs. Give them a call, 720-771-8921. Tell them DNVR sent you. All right, we are back here on the DNVR Nuggets Podcast, post-game lounge, back-to-back losers lounges, unfortunately.
Isn't that right?
Presented by Bet365. Vogt should be joining us shortly. Any other notes from this game? 113-106, the Nuggets lose. I mean, there's not really much more meat on the bone, I feel like. Nikola Jokic didn't play. Jamal Murray didn't play. Michael Porter, Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon all did not play. Peyton Watson didn't play in this game. I wonder if they would have played if last night didn't go to double OT. If that was a regulation game, I mean, I think some of them might have played, but they didn't. And tonight was what it was.
Yeah. One thing, I mean, I feel like I wanted to talk about it last night, but it's just about the Michael Malone decision. I know there's a lot of people that say that he should be benching Russell Westbrook, you know, late in the game before Jalen Pickett.
Yeah.
First off, people are not doing that. You're just not doing it. Like, Russell Westbrook is a Hall of Famer. Even if he's having a bad game, you just don't do those type of. Jalen Pickett has not proved enough at this point to say that he can close out. Yes, you could say now you have a sample size of, you know, Russell Westbrook having 2 rough patches in the fourth quarter. But like before, like last night, you're not going to just say, "Oh, Jalen Pickett's playing well. We're going to go with that." It's just not something that you do. Russell Westbrook has had a lot of good moments in this league. He's closed out.
He's
games.
had a lot of good moments this year too.
He's had some. He's playing out of his mind when you look at his contract and what he means to the Nuggets and how much is expected of him every single night.
It's also easy to forget. I mean, the Nuggets might be in the play-in right now, if not for what Russ was able to do over the first half of the season in place of Jamal.
That's a real thing, and that's a guy on a vet minimum.
Yeah,
like you're asking a lot of him if you want him to. He wouldn't be on a vet minimum if he puts up this stat line: 30, 11, 6 assists, and he's closing out games perfectly. That doesn't even go. You know, like this was a night they just played 2 overtimes last night. He played in that. He's in his 17th year. He decided to play in this game to give the Nuggets a chance. They wouldn't even had a chance if he played in this. So, like, yeah, I have been pretty rough on Russ, but also when you look at the grand scheme of things, that is not to say that Russell Westbrook is not having an incredible year, because this really is a resurgence for him.
It is.
Having a lot in his tank still. And I do know, I mean, like, I've been big on it even at the beginning of the year that I felt like there should be a leash on Russell Westbrook. And I think that's when it gets out of hand, is when he gets to have the freedom to just go. I was frustrated with like Michael Malone in this game because he did not coach once Russell Westbrook had 2 turnovers in a row.
yeah.
Then he allowed him to get 4 turnovers. Then I'm like, hold on. No, you still have a chance to win this game. If you think about that missed layup, they were down 2. The Nuggets were down 2. They had momentum. It was 4 minutes still left in the game. That wasn't the only play that lost them the game. Yeah, it was momentum and backbreaking, and Russell Westbrook has a lot of those moments that it's just very loud. But he played so well that it would have been crazy to say, no, we're just going to go through somebody else the entire time. This guy was your leading scorer. He played well tonight. He gives it his all every single time. He ran out of gas, and that makes sense. So that's my take on Russell Westbrook in those type of situations. I wouldn't have went with Jalen Pickett because he's having a better stretch, quote unquote. Russell Westbrook earned it. He played well. He just had a bad moment, and this is his second night in a row of having a bad moment. And that was one of the wildest misses I've ever seen on a layup.
Which one?
Today.
Dude, and then he had, I mean, I don't want to like beat down the guy, but then he had the rebound that where he was just under the rim and it just bounced off his hands. That was the nail in the coffin.
But they didn't call a timeout. It was clearly unraveling for the Nuggets and for him specifically. And they kept giving him the ball. They didn't run a play. They didn't say like, hey, put him in the corner and like let him calm down. Like let's call a timeout to get him there. And I know, like, as a coach, you're like, hey, I'm not doing this. This is a 17-year vet. You should know what to do in these situations, but you still have to coach guys through that. Like, you still have to not let him continue to punish himself, because it started getting out of hand. And I was like, okay, stop it right now. Call a timeout. Get him out of it. Put the ball in Jalen Pickett's hand. Give somebody else a chance. Mm-hmm. They didn't, and that's where I was frustrated.
Yeah, no, I think those are valid points for sure. I believe we have Brendan Vogt live from Ball Arena. He just spoke with Michael Malone, Jalen Pickett, and another player, I'm sure. Oh, this must have been a real barn burner at Ball.
Yes, the first 3 fans that I saw at Ball Arena tonight were all either in from out of town or at their first ever Nuggets game.
Oh my god.
Another one was sitting next to me, did not know anyone was going to be out until it was announced over the intercom. So I will say, that's my first note. I don't like the Nuggets did the responsible thing, like resting guys. We had that whole thing about last year and how they didn't do it. But you would assume, right, in your head, that like a fan's interest in a team trying to win a title that it runs parallel. And this is just one of those nights where it diverges a bit, right? Like the responsible thing for the team to do was rest, but that really stinks for the fans who paid to be here, you know? So I will say that the guys on the floor definitely had to work, I think, uphill, especially after that start to get them into it. They did eventually. Really shout out Nuggets fans who you don't get to take a seat until your team scores. Malone rage timed out before the Nuggets scored. Everyone stayed standing, so that was a moment. It was an uphill climb for the fans tonight, but shout out everyone who came and ultimately did their best to make it cool in the fourth, where it looked like they might win first.
Yeah, shout out to the fans for sure. So what did Michael Malone have to say after this one?
Malone was in a relatively upbeat mood, guys. He really was. And I think the direction he took this in right away was kind of the guy he was proud of. He acknowledged what didn't go well. He really liked the rebounding. You know, the Nuggets had almost 60 rebounds in this game. They had 3 fellas in double digits in rebounding. So that was something he liked. You know, he was proud of the guys who don't usually play, who stepped up and played well. On Westbrook, his only quote on Westbrook, guys, is just on tired legs. And he said, I went to Russ after the game, and I just told him that I appreciate him. Because when a lot of other guys would see who was not playing tonight, they simply would not have played. But that would be taking the easy way out. And Westbrook just doesn't do that. It's just not in his DNA. The bulk of Malone's prayer was dedicated to praising Jalen Pickett on his triple-double. He said he wished, of course, just as Jalen does, that it had come in a win. But he's really proud of him and doubled down on a line that we've heard before, which is that Jalen is trustworthy. He's become trustworthy. Every time we turn to him when we need to, he does what's asked of him. So that you know, Malone was really proud of Pickett, talked a lot about him. Did try to speak with Russell Westbrook in the locker room. He declined, which is his prerogative. You know, I don't put that out there to slam the guy. I just figure, you know, fans may be wondering if you're looking for a Westbrook quote from either tonight or last night. He declined to speak with the media on both occasions. We did hear from Jalen Pickett, who was pretty dismissive of the triple-double, really wanted to win. That didn't really mean much to him. He did think it was a really good experience, though. You know, when asked where this thing fell apart, he says, clutch time, obviously, and he attributed that to a collective lack of clutch minutes. You know, a lineup that played a lot together, guys who haven't played those moments together. He said it's not the same as clutch time in college or the G League. It's just not. And he said it was a really good experience for the guys. So really good press conference for Pickett tonight, who I thought shared some insight, but also like didn't lose sight of the fact that they lost this game. Like he wasn't there to celebrate himself. And we also heard from Hunter Tyson, who had my favorite quote of the night, who said, you know, there are no moral victories for us. We are professional basketball players. We are paid to win. So he's pissed that they lost. Obviously, when you're missing a lot of guys, the head coach, the media, you may take these notes of, oh, well, they played hard. You know, for Hunter, that's the expectation, right? We're pros. We were supposed to win this game. So he is disappointed. He did like the opportunity. Said it felt cool as a shooter to make multiple threes in a game when asked directly about it, but he said, I do wish I hit a couple more, man. Really did. So Hunter, I think, was properly frustrated this one. But obviously I think all those guys were grateful to play, right? I mean, Hunter got 20 shots up in this game, and that's not going to happen for him at the NBA level a ton. And lastly, on his way off the podium, our good friend Ryan Blackbird is wearing a South Carolina hoodie. You guys may know Hunter Tyson went to Clemson. He just had to let Ryan Blackburn know that hoodie is hideous. Blackburn tried to fire back. Who'd you guys lose to this year in the tournament? And Hunter was ready. He said, did you guys even make the NIT? So a little fire from Hunter there. A little college. It was all in good fun. A little college rivalry. A little levity to end the night.
Wow. Don't try to prod young guys about their college teams.
They care. They're invested.
They're very.
They were
invested.
paid by
All
the
right.
teams.
Yeah.
And,
What
and
did
the Nuggets have a lot of them. The Nuggets have a
Yeah,
lot of
they
time.
definitely do. What do you think of Pickett's night, Vogt?
I mean, Pickett was balling, dude.
Yeah.
Pickett was awesome. And like, this is all easy to say in hindsight, but a thing that happened tonight is that Russ wasn't very good in crunch time. And he was for most of the game, right? Like, he was actually for 3/4 of that game. Russ was awesome. But Russ was not good in clutch time. And there were moments where it felt like, yeah, man, I wish the ball was in his hands right now. But I understand the sort of pecking order of how this works. I understand who Russell Westbrook is. And I know that Westbrook has contributed to some wins all season long. Obviously, directly contributing to a couple of losses here. So Pickett, I thought, was great, a real bright spot. And I thought there was a chance that he might get them this win. Shout out Pickett, of course, collecting his first career triple-double. That is a cool thing, even if it wasn't a disappointing loss.
Yeah. Last one for you from me. Your boy Vlatko. 2 threes, one at the buzzer in the third quarter. That was cool to see.
Really, really cool to see. And man, I kind of wish we got to hit that note really hard, right? That 3 at the buzzer to end the third quarter was awesome.
Yeah.
Vlatko was kind of hooping, man. He had some great defensive possessions as well. The chalky chop, that block, man, the recovery block, I couldn't believe it. I was actually, like, I know people don't like the silver linings and the moral victories, and that's really get it. But it's like Vlatko, I didn't think was going to play again this year. And I think Vlatko was in a real crossroads with a decision to make about his career, like hustling to get back now,
right?
Trying to prolong his career and the length of it, but that might have also meant not getting to play in the NBA again, right? Like a real crossroads for him. And he chose the quicker route. He chose to try to be here for the team. I thought he played well tonight. I was glad he got some minutes. But again, man, I really wish we were talking about a shorthanded win, and quite obviously we are not.
Yeah.
I don't like to bring up old stuff, but we didn't hear from you yesterday. What was it like to be in the arena, and how was that experience of them losing that game in that fashion?
Well, I wasn't in the arena, fellas. I was real sick, so I watched it. I watched it on TV at home, and it was honestly right up until the part that is hurting all of us deeply, even still. It was an incredible game, like maybe the game of the year, just as a neutral fan. And after all the dog days, it was so cool to watch them play such a good game and play so hard. And God, man, I don't like. Sometimes the takeaway is like, yeah, this one guy botched it, and like that was as clear as of a case of that being the scenario we've ever seen. Like, though, Russ really botched that one down the stretch. And Russ has won this game teams too. Like, it's a different sentence than, and so he's bad, and so it's been a bad signing. But it is most certainly what has happened in the last couple of nights. And sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. But it feels like we saw the sort of honeymoon part of Russ being in Westbrook, and it feels like where it gets challenging and where there's been tension is starting to raise its head for the first time all year. And I think reflected in him not wanting to speak to the media. I mean, we've mostly only asked Russ about how great it's been to be in Denver, because that's been the only question to ask him. And, the questions, I think, were going to start to look a little different. So, you're in a tough spot. And I think Malone more than ever will have to really, really earn his paycheck in terms of how closely he manages and monitors the rotation in the postseason, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I promise this is the last one. Any sense that you get about are the starters like going to play against the Warriors, or are they going to be
I
out?
I don't know if they're going to play. I mean, I will say the word rest was just straight up used tonight.
Really.
Or I should say, not in a quote. Actually, I should correct myself here. This is important. Bennett Durando put out that he had heard the Nuggets were planning on resting their starters. It is notable all of the guys were questionable. None of them were doubtful. So I think there's a chance they could play. I don't have anything concrete there. I will say Jalen Pickett did told us that he had a pretty good idea yesterday that he was going to start. So
interesting.
I think this one may be what it looks like. You know what I mean? With the rest.
Interesting. Well, not that many games left in the season, so We'll see. Thanks, Vogt. Appreciate it, man.
Anytime, fellas.
All right, let's hit our final break. On the other side, we'll hit Super Chats, and then we'll get out of here. Let's talk about our friends over at Shady Rays. Shady Rays, perfect for Colorado, perfect for every season. If you go to shadyrays.com, you just browse their website. They have a sunglass for you, no matter what type of frame you wear, no matter what type of color, shape, size. Shady Rays, they've got something for you. Right now, for our listeners at DNVR, Shady Rays are giving out their best deal of the season. ShadyRays.com. Use the code DNVR for 35% off. Polarized sunglasses, rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. You can get 35% off polarized sunglasses with that code DNVR. If your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by their lost or broken replacement guarantee. So hit up Shady Rays today. Use the code DNVR for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Also got to talk about UC Health. DNVR Nuggets is brought to you by UC Health, the official healthcare partner of the Denver Nuggets. Dev, what are you doing to stay healthy this time of year?
Eating better.
Eating better. There you go. What about you, Kale?
Lots of skiing, man. Lots of skiing.
Lots of skiing. I am trying to eat better as well. You know, when you get into a really like heavy work schedule, like when you're in the Nugget season like we are, you forget that stuff. Like that stuff goes by the wayside. Get caught in some bad habits. I'm trying to bring myself up out of that now. Head into the playoffs on a healthy note, on a good note. For more info about how you can live extraordinary and learn about living like there is a tomorrow, go to uchealth.org. UC Health, live extraordinary. All right, back here on the DNVR Nuggets postgame lounge. We're presented by Bet365. Should we hit Super Chats? Let's do it.
Let's do it.
And we'll wrap this back-to-back up. First one comes from Buck Beasy. Y'all really running from Minnesota. I feel like we picked up a lot of Minnesota Timberwolves fans off of our watch along last night. And I just want to say, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Toyota chat. We're glad to have you.
I don't know if I hate them or love them because I'm a big fan of Minnesota, but they've been breaking our hearts lately, and they were very mean to us last night. So I appreciate you. Let's say that. I appreciate
we
you.
appreciate the view. We appreciate the comment. The money. We'll take it, man. Thank you guys for joining the show. Ulysses Ventura. Maybe these games are good in the long run for Malone not to close with Russ in the playoffs. I mean,
you would hope that they wouldn't have to.
Right.
Like they have a starting point guard.
If you're closing with Russ in the playoffs, like he's either playing so well or things are going so bad with Christian. Like it's hard to imagine a scenario where that's like the definitive answer. No, it should have been taking my money. No win, no dev. We need Yoke. Let's Bruce Brown. Next one, guys. I think. I don't know.
Bounce back.
Oh, bounce back. I was just guessing. Yeah. Jerry J, it really is incredible how selfish Russ is. We're not going anywhere with this guy. A ton of minutes. Here's the thing, man. Russell Westbrook was so great the first half of the season. Like I said earlier, I think there's a chance. What are the Nuggets in the West right now? They dropped down to, well, they're still in the 4 spot right now. I think there's a good chance they're in the play-in. And I mean, the 7 seed or worse right now. If you replace Russ with, I don't know, whatever other minimum level point guard out there. Like Russ helped the Nuggets win a bunch of games early this season when, Jamal was out or whatever. So he's done his job. The balance for Malone now is going to be, how do I get the positives out of him while not overplaying him to a point where the negatives come out? Like how
do you reel in the positives of Russell Westbrook? How do you keep the experience straight positive? That's something that you have to think about. And also, 2 things can be true at the same time. Russell Westbrook definitely can play better, and he needs to close out games better. He does need to take care of the ball. There's a lot of things that he needs to do well, but also you could say the positive things that he does too. I think that's what the Russell Westbrook experience is. And it's not let Russ be Russ. Russ be better.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Carrot Hammer, I don't care. Pickett, trip dub, enough for me tonight. Hey, man, a triple double for Jalen Pickett. Can you imagine if we said at the beginning of this season, Jalen Pickett's going to get a triple double this year?
Yeah, what do you?
He's going to start next to Russell Westbrook.
There's like some, at the beginning of the year, we have those picks.
Yeah.
And we're saying all these crazy things that we think is going to happen. Nobody would have said Jalen Pickett.
Not even Adam?
Nobody would have said Jalen Pickett's getting a triple double. Do y'all have that, Doc? Actually, share that with me.
I think I'll try to find that.
Share that with me, please.
Yeah. Can see what our Jalen Pickett predictions were. GGX gang, we've replaced blown KCP layups with Westbrook. I mean, yeah, he has just absolutely whiffed on 3 big layups over the last 2 games. Like, very big layups.
Some of those misses are like, that miss today was one of the most insane misses. I feel like you had to go out of your way to miss as badly as he missed today. He had a regular left hand layup, and he decided to spin it or try to spin it. It was so bad of a play.
It was wild.
If you guys missed the watch along, go back and check it out. I think it's the loudest I've ever heard Dev laugh.
I've never heard Dev laugh like that, and I've been doing a show with him for 5 years.
Man,
I've never heard Dev laugh like that.
That was a moment. That was so crazy. I think that's all you could do is laugh.
5-5-5-ish. It feels like the Nuggets are approaching this last stretch different than last year's. This signals to me the Nuggets are fine being any seed, which oddly to me indicates a sense of confidence. So I agree. I think they did get to a point, and I think it happened maybe a week ago or so, where they're like, all right, we're just going to start resting guys. We're cool with the 3, 4, 5 seed. But I don't know if it indicates a sense of confidence to me. It kind of just indicates a sense of them deciding that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, there had to be a conversation. But also, what I will say is, looking at this game, if they really, really wanted this game, they would have played 1 or 2 guys. They could have.
Right.
They were like, okay, let's just let the chips fall where they fall. We're going to try to go in healthy. So I think there is something to 5-5-5-ish is, sense about their having some confidence.
Yeah, I will say the mentality they've got right now, when it comes to approaching the guys who are banged up and resting them, it's better than it was to close last season. Brandon Sims, we own the Warriors. They're at LA before us and are tired. So yeah, the Warriors play the Lakers tomorrow, and then the Nuggets Friday. So the Warriors are on a back-to-back for that game. Maybe that's a game the Warriors don't even play anybody for. I'm kind of expecting the rest of the regular season to be kind of BS. I don't want to make Hale write the report. Nathan West, weird game tonight, guys. Saw some encouraging stuff from the bench. Healthy Nuggets can beat anyone. First time watching at the bar was great. To meet you guys in the lounge. Everyone at DNVR is killing it. Thank you, man. Good to meet you, too. Thanks for coming through.
Real one, Nathan.
Yeah. Cameron H., when Jew coming back, my girlfriend stopped watching with me. Sorry to hear that.
That's why we got the watch alongs. You can always hang out with us.
You can always watch it with us.
Hold on. So his girlfriend only watched the Nuggets because of Julian Strother?
That's Julian Strother.
That's rough.
So Julian Strother. So Julian Strother should be coming back before the playoffs. Now, will he play a lot in the playoffs? I don't know, but I think he'll be healthy and be available for the last couple regular season games. Michael Porter Truther, Sac L versus DC, Chicago 10-4. How possible with Goat Levine? Oh, this is okay. So the Bulls traded away Levine. They went 10-4, and the Kings lost to the Wizards with Levine. Was that today? Yeah, Levine has not been good. I mean, I don't really get why Sacramento made that trade. Lateral move, at best, it seems like. But yeah, that trade not working out for them. And yeah, little Ewing theory potential with Chicago moving on for him, giving the keys to Giddey and Kobe Whitemore. Kyle M. Hey, Wind. What's up, Kyle? And finally, Mr. Exquisite Nugget. Wind, where we'll finish. I bet third. One love, fellas. Let's look at the standings right now. Let me bring them up here. So, Oklahoma City's the 1. Houston, they're the 2. Houston's 3 full games up on the Lakers. Houston just might be the 2 now. 3 full games up with, 6 left for most teams?
Yeah.
They're probably just the 2. And
they're going to go after it.
Lakers and Nuggets tied at the 3 right now. So I'm going to guess the Nuggets finish as the 4. I'm going to guess they finish as the 4. What do you think?
Well, I was trying to look at Lakers schedule to close out. They have Warriors, they have Pelicans, they have the Thunder, they have the Thunder again, they have Dallas,
Houston,
Rockets, Portland.
So
Lakers have a rough stretch.
Pretty tough.
That is pretty tough.
2 OKC games is tough.
Back to back, and
And then
OKC
Denver,
like
Golden
they're going to go
State,
for as many
Indiana,
wins as they
Sacramento,
can.
Memphis, Houston. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's probably going to come down to the last day, to be honest. We'll see. All right, thanks for the super chats, guys. Got a couple minutes left in the show. Let's scan around the association a little bit as we get out of here. OKC won, 119-103.
Isn't Sacramento still like in the hunt, like in the race for a playoff spot or no?
They are right now the 10 seed, so they're in the play-in. They're competing with Phoenix for that final play-in spot.
They lost to the Wizards tonight.
Oh, so that's what Michael Porter Truther was talking about. Yeah, that game was tonight.
You go and lose to the Wizards?
I mean, who would lose to the Wizards? Like, how can you let yourself do that, man?
That is pretty crazy.
That is so embarrassing.
Couldn't be us.
I could never come back from losing to the Wizards. Twice?
What actually sucks is they needed that win.
Yeah.
The Wizards, they're trying to just ruin people.
Sometimes you just need a win against the Wizards and you can't get it. Sometimes that happens twice in a season.
It's pretty crazy, and it doesn't make any sense.
Zach LaVine, though, 18 points, 5 or 13 shooting. He has been bad in Sacramento. He's averaging 21 points. His percentages are actually okay. Just a dip in the scoring, but it hasn't had the overall effect on Sacramento that they were definitely hoping for.
The Rockets,
considering they're in the 10th seed.
The Rockets earned their playoff spot.
They clinched the division, yeah.
They put up 143 points against the Jazz.
Damn.
That's a team taking care of business. I know the Jazz are one of the worst teams I've ever seen.
They are
because
terrible.
I've seen it. I literally seen it. But it doesn't make sense for them to be able to just turn on the switch and like blow out. I have not watched many Rockets games. I wonder how the vibes are over there. Because they're winning games.
Probably pretty good.
They're in a good spot. Like they have a very good coach. They have some talented young players. They don't scare me like, other teams do or how other people feel about them. But they do have some really good players. Jabari Smith had 15 points, 14 rebounds. I've never even seen him have a good game. So this was wild for me, but I know he's a hot pick. Eamon Thompson didn't even have a good game. Jalen Green had 22. Şengün had 15 points, 14 rebounds, 9 assists. They scored. And then, you don't really have to talk about the Jazz.
Boston lost. Dallas won.
Anthony Davis came back 34-15. 34-15.
And he didn't get hurt.
Well, he did get hurt.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
He did?
We got it was like friendly fire. Like an elbow straight to the face. And he was down for a little bit.
Yeah.
But he had a monster game. He only played 30 minutes in this one, but 34-15, 5 blocks.
Yeah.
When he plays, they're all right. Yeah. I just don't know how much he's gonna play is the thing. And I don't know if they could stay healthy.
All right, guys, I think that's all the time we got today. Thanks for hanging out with us all night. Pre-game show, watch along, post-game show. Enjoy your night. We'll talk to you next time. Leave a like. Later.